Greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. We're coming back at you with Word Wizard. And my apologies for the last one. I will get better at it. I was still up on the old El Perro or still current El Perro profile there. So we got her fixed up now. And we're going to continue on today again with this next video in regards to the like I said in the last one, sovereignty and jurisdiction of the state, as it states in the Iowa Code, Iowa English Language Reaffirmation. And as we spoke of in the last video, the modern English that we use today is a confluence of many languages put together, and it goes across many different forums: logistics, aviation, traffic, transportation, trade, whether it be international, national, local, whatever. It's what they use, and it's what they're trying to get everybody else to use because it is so artistic and malleable according to one's own purposes and intents. So let's look on with the Iowa sovereignty. Let me blow this up, get a good read on it. Make sure we have her. Good enough, good enough. Okay, and it says, the General Assembly, this is the legislator of the state. This is who the people are actually supposed to address. You're not supposed to be addressing the administrative courts. You're supposed to be speaking with your governor and your state representatives. You're supposed to give them directives. You're supposed to be able to speak to them with competence. And it says the General Assembly of the state of Iowa finds and declares the following. Finds and declares. The state of Iowa is comprised of individuals from different ethnic, cultural, and linguistic backgrounds. The state of Iowa encourages the assimilation of Iowans into Iowa's rich culture. Throughout the history of Iowa and the United States, they cannot do this without the United States. The common thread binding individuals, and again, we're going to be talking about individuals here in the next video. Throughout the history of Iowa, the United States, the common thread binding individuals of differing backgrounds together has been the English language. That is the lingua franca that brings two cultural backgrounds together with a vehicular language, a modal language, which is verbal, which means it moves. It is a vehicular, it is a moving language. Among the powers reserved to each state is the power to establish the English language as the official language of the state, and otherwise to promote the English language within the state, subject to the prohibitions enumerated in the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the state. Again, they cannot do it without the United States. In order to encourage every citizen of this state to become more proficient in the English language, thereby facilitating participation in the economic, political, and cultural activities of this state and of the United States, the English language is hereby declared to be the official language of the state of Iowa. Not the Republic of Iowa, the state of Iowa. Except as otherwise provided for in subsection 5 and 6, the English language shall be the language of government in Iowa. Government, not the people. It has never officially been defined as a national language, like it said earlier. All official documents, regulations, orders, transactions, proceedings, programs, meetings, publications, or actions taken or issued which are conducted or regulated by or on behalf of or representing the state and all of its political subdivisions, shall be in the English language. Okay? Remember I spoke about the legal profession, and they use the English language, but it's a different form. They use different definitions, which means the construction of their codes, even though they're in plain writing in many areas, some areas become a little bit ambiguous and you have to start looking for certain definitions. For the purposes of this section, official action. This is a specific definition. Means any action taken by the government in Iowa or by an authorized officer or agent of the government in Iowa. This is that resident. No person shall reside within the zone except federal, state, or municipal officers or agents whose resident presence is deemed necessary by the board. No. Does any of the following binds the government? That's what all those instrumentalities of the government are specifically for, is for binding. But it is not binding the government, it's binding the private individuals. Whereas the binding of the government has already taken place. They already exist under a maritime lien, as I was reminded again today. They have a maritime lien under a military government. Is required by law, is otherwise subject to scrutiny by either the press or the public. Are you part of that public? Shouldn't you be scrutinizing these official actions by government? Why are they accusing you of such official actions if you're not the government? This section shall not apply to the teaching of languages. Requirements under the Federal Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. We might talk about that sometime in the future. I keep telling people that you're legally disabled. You are legally incompetent unless you know the words and terms of art of the legal profession and have been trained in such. Actions, documents, or policies necessary for trade, tourism, or commerce. Actions for documents that protect the public health and safety. Actions or documents that facilitate activities pertaining to compiling any census of populations. So what they're telling you, they don't have to hold these requirements under the state's vital statistics jurisdiction established upon enumeration at birth through the Census Bureau, the Bureau of Vital Statistics. Actions or documents that protect the rights of victims of crimes or criminal defendants. Actions or documents, use of proper names, terms of art, or phrases from languages other than English. Does that sound like the terms of art of the legal profession? Any language usage required by or necessary to secure the rights guaranteed by the Constitution and laws of the United States of America. Oh! Now they say the Constitution and laws of the United States of America. Pay attention to how things are written, folks. Or the Constitution of the state of Iowa, as it is the indenture to the Constitution of the United States of America. Any oral or written, just like the Constitution of the United States is an indenture to the Constitution of the United States of America. Any oral or written communications, examinations, or publications produced or utilized by a driver license station, provided public safety is not jeopardized. Always for your safety, folks. And it's always going to deal with that license or identification through the state of Iowa. In this state, nothing in this section shall be construed to do any of the following: prohibit an individual member of the General Assembly or officer of state government while performing official business from communicating through any medium with another person in a language other than English. If this is so for them, then it is equally as so and enforceable for yourself, so long as you comprehend this and can export it in intellectual conversations or communications as they speak of. If that member or officer deems it necessary or desirable to do so. Limit the preservation or use of Native American languages as defined in the Federal Native American Languages Act of 1992, and disparage any language other than English, or discourage any person from learning or using a language other than English. So in case you don't see what we have before us, is a lingua franca as a vehicular language that allows you to use your creativeness as long as you work with it. Kind of like instead of being blocky when you use regular block writing English, you flow with it when you use cursive. It's spellbinding, and you were literally born in a spell of illness. We'll talk about that sometime in case you hadn't heard about it. And in the meantime, I'll be back yet again here yet sometime today, hopefully here shortly, in regards to the definition of the term person and how it applies to the term individual, like I said earlier. We'll see you then.